On my way to work this morning, I recorded a video talking about my reaction to Pochettino losing his job, and at that time I wasn't aware of the appointment of Jose Mourinho. So I've been at work all day and my phone hasn't stopped with WhatsApp messages from different WhatsApp groups that I'm in, and to say that Jose Mourinho is divisive is a real understatement. The truth is, half of the people out there that I talk to say that he is a serial winner. He's gonna deliver us a trophy. The other half are saying that his style of football is appalling and he makes it all about him, and it's going to make it really difficult, a real difficult to watch and a real difficult period in our history. So I'm yet to be convinced either way, I guess. I totally understand why Daniel Levy and the board would go for a person like Jose Mourinho, purely because his record speaks for itself. So it makes sense, right? But at the same time as doing that, you have to question what next in terms of financial spend, because we all know that Jose Mourinho doesn't develop players. He doesn't bring youth players through. He buys players, and he wants the players that he wants, and he would expect his chairman to deliver those players. That's one of the reasons why he had the big falling out at Manchester United, was because he wanted X player but he got Y player, and so he sulked and moaned about it to the point where it was a distraction for the whole club. Listen, this is my opinion, right? So as I said, he's so divisive that loads of you are going to totally disagree with what I'm saying, right? And that's your choice, and that's your right. I've got no problem with it whatsoever. But I'm just there in my view, right? So when he left Manchester United, my view is he left Manchester United in a worse place than when he joined Manchester United. Yeah, he won a couple of trophies. Fantastic. And as Tottenham fans who have been starved of trophies for so long, that would be fantastic. We'd love to win a Europa League. We'd love to win a Carling Cup or an FA Cup or anything, you know. So I'm not knocking that, because that's how you judge success from a fan's point of view, but not from a club's point of view, which is what I've made comment I've made previously. From a club's point of view, it's all about Champions League. It's all about top four, right? So the fact that Pochettino has our club sitting in 14th with a very slim chance of getting into the top four is why they've made the decision they've made, allegedly. Now, I would argue that there must have been conversations going on between Pochettino and Levy, because for me, I think the more telling aspect of all of this has been Pochettino himself, his body language, his comments, his demeanour, because it has changed. So for me, I think there's got to be more to it than the board just making the decision, we've had enough, he's not taking us anywhere. Because if anyone had credit in the bank, then it's got to have been Pochettino. And I stand by my comment that when Pochettino goes to another club, which he will be successful and he will win trophies somewhere. And depending on how this with Mourinho pans out, we will know whether it was the right decision or the wrong decision to let him go. So back to the Mourinho scenario. As I said, I'm not his fan. You know, the reality is, I like to watch him as a character when he is at other clubs. So when he's ripping Luke Shaw to pieces for being overweight or slow or not doing what he says, and he's doing that publicly on national TV, do I enjoy it? Yeah. Do I laugh? Yeah. You know, of course. So that's what I like about Jose Mourinho. Do I want him doing that to our players? No, I don't. Do some of them deserve it? Absolutely. You know, I would love to someone to get hold of Christian Eriksen and say to him, what the actual are you doing, mate? Get your arse in gear, get your head in the right place and do your job, because that's what we're paying you a lot of money to do. Will Jose Mourinho be that man? Maybe. Do I want him to do it publicly though? No, because that's car crash TV that just gets everybody else looking at us and going, yeah, he's going to rip that club apart. And that's not what I want. What I would like to see would have been Pochettino having those conversations with Eriksen. And listen, we don't know, he may well have been doing that, but he clearly wasn't listening. Either way. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm happy with it, because I'm not. You know, I know, as most people do, lots of Manchester United fans, because they're everywhere, right? And during his spell at Man United, even though he was winning trophies, Man United fans did not want Mourinho at their club. It's reality. They didn't want him there. They'd had enough of him. They hated the football that he was dishing up. Now he'll say he can only do what he can do with the players that he's got, and a lot of people were saying that his time at Chelsea, he played some good football. Truthfully, that's not my recollection. Now, I might be totally wrong, but that's not my recollection. My recollection of Tottenham going to Chelsea and getting a point because Jose Mourinho parked the bus. Sorry, but that's how I remember it. So, you know, I don't get that where people were saying that, you know, he does get them playing exciting football. I don't see it. But then, you know, like I've said many moons ago, I'm not a fan of other people's football teams. I don't really watch other teams' football. I watch teams when they play us, and I'll watch the odd game of different thing. I don't watch European football as in Real Madrid playing Barcelona and stuff like that. I watch the highlights when Jose Mourinho sticking his thumb in someone's eye and that kind of stuff, because again, it's car crash TV. It's funny. It's somebody else's manager who's showing himself up and making himself look an absolute twat. You know, and that for me is one of the things that Pochettino will be remembered fondly for, was his professionalism. I liked the fact that he was always very spoke very highly of opposition players. He spoke very highly of opposition managers. He would always speak to opposition players and congratulate them and shake their hands and stuff like that. And I personally felt he was very professional in that way. I've never seen him really go off on a rant, unlike, you know, Jose Mourinho, or, you know, going back, Kevin Keegan, or Rafa Benitez, or any of those guys, right? So that's what I liked about him, because his attitude was he wanted to make us proud of our football club. And I felt that he did make us proud of our football club for long periods. And he took us to places that we wanted to dream about. It didn't get over the line, and that will be my biggest disappointment about the whole thing, that he didn't get us a trophy, because if anyone deserved it, he did. You know, for what he did with a club that was going nowhere fast under Mr. Sherwood, who should have stuck to making stir fries, in my opinion. I digress. So I don't know what to say. I'm willing to be proved wrong. I'm willing to wait and see what Mourinho serves up. I do fear for some of our players. Some of them I don't fear for. I think they deserve all they get. But I do fear for some of our players who I would have liked to have seen come through. Players like Oliver Skipp, Japhet Tananga. Those guys must be sitting there, Carl Walker-Peters, they must be sitting there going, oh well, I need to move on, because I ain't going to get anywhere near the team with this guy, because he's just going to go out, if Daniel Levy gives him the money, and spend. So, for me, that's the end of our academy. And some of these guys are good players who deserve an opportunity. And me personally, I've been saying that Pochettino should have brought them in and bloodied them and done away with these want-away players, because I'd have rather have lost without them than with them, to be fair. So, I think that's the end for those guys. But again, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he's learnt a thing or two about that philosophy. If Daniel Levy has agreed that he's going to pay Jose Mourinho lots of money towards players, it does beg the question: why wouldn't you give Pochettino the January window and the rest of the year to see if he could turn it round? Because if we truly believe that top four is out of reach, what difference does it make whether Jose Mourinho gets us there or Pochettino gets us forward? Unless, of course, he's had his eye on Mourinho for a while and the buzzards were circling because, there are other clubs out there that are going through similar scenarios. Arsenal for one, to a lesser extent West Ham, both looking to get rid of their managers. Bayern Munich without a manager. So I'm sure there are other clubs out there that would be ever so keen to take Jose. So maybe it's more a case of the right man available at the right time, and that's what's prompted this change. For me, I just think, when Daniel Levy brought Pochettino in, I suspect there was this project, and this project was going to last for 5 years to take us to a certain step. Now, the fact that we overachieved so quickly, I think is part of Pochettino's downfall, because we got to a point where maybe we are stagnating, maybe we have reached our plateau, and I did question that in a couple of interviews that I did with We Are Tottenham TV, where I said, maybe we are seeing the beginning of the end, because Pochettino had took us as far as he could. So I saw a comment on WhatsApp from one of the guys that said, yesterday was a sad day, losing Pochettino. Today is a sadder one, taking on Jose Mourinho. And to be fair, that kind of sums up how I feel. But like I said, lots of you will be thinking something differently and feeling something different, and that's absolutely fair play. But it's just for me. Now maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-coloured glasses because I had a lot more respect for Maurizio Pochettino. Maybe that's my issue. Maybe that's my problem, that I'm looking at it with too much emotion, and that may well be true. That may well be true. And like I said, only time's going to tell if Mourinho is the right man for us or not. I just hope that if he isn't the right man and it doesn't work out, that he doesn't leave us in a worse state than we are now. Because in my mind, that's what he tends to do. But again, that may just be my emotion. That may just be my perspective. So, you know, you guys are entitled to what you want to say. So, you know, okay, underneath this you've got the opportunity to leave your own comments, to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you're not subscribing to my channel, I'd be really grateful if you did, because at least then I'll know that there are people out there watching. But yeah, leave your comments, let me know what you think. Am I an idiot? Am I seeing this wrong? Or am I right? Do you believe the same as me, that this is not the right time or the right person? Let me know. Up the Spurs.